connecting your SAP system to other surrounding systems. And based on the integration needs, so for example, if you want to integrate your EWM process for one of the, let's say, IDOC scenarios, you want to replace it with APIs and you want to integrate with other third-party, third-party vendors or customers, then probably that integration still needs to be built on SAP BTP, which is using the SAP BTP integration suite. And similar to what your ABAPers were doing, they were building new applications or they were extending your on-premise application, that could be done on SAP BTP, which is part of SAP BTP application development, and that would be done on the cloud, and it could be done for both SAP S/4HANA on-premise system as well as SAP S/4HANA cloud system. So that comes under SAP BTP application development category. Probably let me share my screen, and I would, before going through the presentation, what I would think is, okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So SAP BTP is a technology platform. Even if you look at the full form of BTP, is a technology platform. And when we say a technology platform, using this technology platform, you can support all your business applications. So let's say if your organization is running SAP, Ariba, SuccessFactors, Concur, or any ERP modules. So to support those applications or those business process, you need a technology layer. And that technology layer will comprise of application development, automation, integration. And if you're talking about modern needs, it would be AI as well. AI and building automation using RP, everything will be there. So here on my screen, the current, you are seeing 5 different tracks. I have categorized it, and even SAP has categorized this into 4 different tracks. And one of the tracks is application development. So very much similar to ABAP developers, you will be building application or you will be extending application for both S/4HANA on-premise as well as S/4HANA cloud solutions. And that will require some coding skill. So if you are using SAP BTP ABAP, you require some coding skill. And since you're from ABAP background already, you know that ABAP is already a 4th generation language where unlike .NET or Java, you have to type everything. Even whatever you are writing, it would be more from tools and you will get all the prompts, and even the syntax are very much like English syntax. So you're not writing, you don't need to remember all the commands, all the package, everything. So from that perspective, ABAP was already a simplified or a 4th generation version of programming language. And here also in SAP BTP, you would require some programming skill, because if that skill is there, let's say you need to know the concept of object-oriented programming. If I am creating a class and if I am implementing an interface, so a programmer would understand that what is an interface and what do I mean when I say I implement an interface. So that kind of basic skills would be required. And of course, having said that, SAP BTP has other tools, which is now gaining popularity, is low code, no code tools, which is SAP Build App. So it is altogether a different tool. Using that tool, you can build low code, no code application. But again, the capabilities of those applications cannot match the capabilities what you are developing with SAP BTP ABAP or SAP BTP Business Application Studio, because these are pro code tools. So you can build a full-fledged application. And using SAP Build Apps, if I were to give you an example, let's say if there is a courier service, maybe in India, the Blue Dart and DTDC, those are the famous ones. So if I want to build an application so that any of the customers who are using a DTDT application, they can log into their application from their mobile, from their tablet, or maybe from a PC, and just give their tracking ID number, and they can see the current status of their package or what all steps that has been covered. That we actually see nowadays. So those kind of small application where you don't need to connect to the server, you don't want to connect to the VPN of the client or the organization, and you just want to access it discretely from any location, that could be built on SAP Build Apps. Real-time example I gave you, and another, let's say in warehouse, you have so many vendors, you are integrating it with transport management, you are integrating it with, let's say, customers, various sales executives, and if they want to access some of the data of your warehouse or your procurement or your material information so that they can create those sales order. And you are not in the organization VPN. You want to access this data outside, maybe on you have some kind of a camp where you are doing the sales pitches. Then you can build those small application using SAP built apps, and then you can show it to your customers, or maybe the transportation team if they want to use those for navigating to their destination. Those kind of application could be built, and this would
internally, does it calls any API in that?
Yes. It would make a call to the API. So whatever you are developing in SAP BTP. So again, all those would be very technical. So I have all these things planned as a part of demo. But first, I want to make the requirement. I understand the requirement from your side and make it clear what I would be covering or what I could cover as part of this curriculum. So whenever you're developing anything on the SAP BTP layer, you will always have an integration with SAP S/4HANA or any other system, whatever you want to integrate with. And it will always be through a secured connectivity, and it will be APIs in most of the cases.
Got it.
Yeah, so this is the architecture of SAP BTP, wherein I have shown the connection with SAP S/4HANA system. And it could be, again, S/4HANA on-premise or S/4HANA cloud. But here I'm showing it from S/4HANA on-premise perspective. And this is the BTP, which is the separate technology layer where you can do all these things. So you can create mobile applications based on, create simple mobile application which will give a better user experience to the end users. You can do automation using RAP. You can connect to SAP AI Core and probably create those chat GPT kind of things. Even data analytics, integration, all those things can be done. So that's the reason I wanted to understand whether you are looking for application development or you're looking for integration. Of course, the BTP overview I would be covering as part of this course, but I would not be covering in details about the integration. When I'm saying integration, of course, I would be covering how you can integrate or connect your SAP BTP system to SAP S/4HANA. That I would be covering. But the integration, individual business requirements. So let's say if you want to connect your advanced shipment notification to S/4HANA, and that you want to develop on SAP BTP, some customization you want to do. So that would require building some iFlows on SAP BTP integration.
Exactly. That is what my next question is. So you are not going to teach that integration advisor, basically, where you build up iFlows on CPI level and
No, the CPI level iFlows that I would not be covering, because I basically train on SAP BTP application development area. So this is my area. I am not into the integration area. So integration suite, CPI, creating those iFlows, converting your JSON to XML, XML to JSON, or how you can integrate your iDoc to, let's say, another JSON on the receiver side or the sender side. All those things will not be part of this course, what I would be covering.
It's not going to be complete SAP BTP complete suite. You are not going to cover. You are just doing only application development training.
So if you're talking about SAP BTP complete integration suite, it's really vast, right? There are more than 100 services in SAP BTP suite.
Got it.
So from high level perspective,
I am not expecting the complete integration suite, because CPI Discovery has tons of iFlows which are available, and we may not use it also. So say, for example, I was using for some IES solution, like the 3N solution, central procurement integration with on-premise S/4HANA. So then there is a CPI which we needed. So then in the CPI Discovery also, we don't have the standard content. So then I was working at SAP product development team and built up the iFlows, and we released it as a package on the CPI Discovery for all the customers now. Correct. To that level, I actually, we expect that iFlows, I want to integrate a cloud application with an on-premise solution via cloud connector. That end-to-end iFlow can be executed on CPI level, right? So that I'm expecting that can be built so that she can become like a middle layer.
Yeah, so I understand your intention. So you are basically, I mean, you're more intended towards the middleware programming, which we were doing with PIPO, and now it
Right,
has been moved to SAP BTP integration suite, and
right.
probably where you would be utilizing SAP API management or CPI. So that I would not be covering in detail. Absolutely, it would be high level where I would be just be covering what it is, what are the different services, what are the services meant for, but creating the
Mhm.
iFlows, that is not that I teach.
Okay, okay. Yeah, let's go with your course, what you are going to cover.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, so
But
I
a
don't.
quick question
Mhm,
like is a single resource. I know in SAP also someone, a layman want to learn everything SAP. So SAP, you cannot learn anything, everything, sorry. So like
mhm.
module wise, you will go by like either procurement, finance or HR or some set of SAP only you can learn it. So is it the same like a BTP, a single person cannot teach everything or because of your skill sets
No,
you
no,
are
definitely not as, I mean, a single person cannot teach everything. If they are teaching, it would be BTP overview. Like in, I mean, it will be a BTP overview where they will talk about what is BTP, what are the different tracks in BTP, what are the different services in BTP. But they will not go to that granular level that they would be making you like an application developer or an integration consultant on SAP BTP. So these are the different tracks. Definitely, no one can teach SAP BTP completely. As I said, I mean, there are more than 100 services on SAP BTP, and these are some of the ones which I have highlighted. And everything that you're seeing is altogether a different service, and each service on its own is a complete learning journey. So even if you want to learn SAP BTP apps only, that is a complete learning journey on itself. Probably this itself would require 15 to 20 hours of learning. Similarly, with SAP BTP ABAP, this would require, let's say, approximately 25 to 30 hours of learning. And again, Business Application Studio, this is for the front end development. This would again require probably 35 to 40 hours of learning. So I'm just talking
so
about
with
application development. Similarly, in integration suite, CPI itself would require probably 20 to 25 hours of learning.
okay, so if she learns only application development, do you
Mhm.
think that she can crack a job and get at least opportunities for that? How do you think about that from job opportunity perspective? Like if she learns SAP BTP only application development, is it good
Mhm.
enough as sufficient knowledge that she can attain at least job, or she need to go for another consultant and learn automations of SAP and
No, no,
integration?
no, no. Of course not. I mean, again, it would be like, I mean, mix of multiple trades. So if SAP BTP is probably a very confused term, generally because I mean people are referring it to SAP BTP consultant or SAP BTP architect, and probably that is not a correct way to say it because SAP BTP is an entire technology platform. When I'm saying a
Okay.
technology platform, it would have components for all the areas to support your business process or to support your all the application that you are using on SAP. So it includes again Ariba, Concur, SuccessFactor, all ERP products. So it would be the technology layer to support all those products from SAP. So
Got it.
definitely, I mean, a single person cannot be a master or cannot have knowledge of all the different tracks or all the different services. And
Right.
again, like I mean, as per my experience, what I am doing is I am working on SAP BTP application development area. I am also as a working consultant, and I'm taking these trainings on a part-time basis or as a freelancer.
Got it.
So
Yeah, I completely understand that. So you are real time, you are having an experience on the application development side
correct,
then.
correct.
Good, good.
I think on real time they will be
Yeah, yeah.
showing us.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, let's go into your training curriculum. I think I got it. What I was expecting that end to end, but I think this slides brings me some good understanding about. I know
Mhm,
the different parts of the BTP. At least this slides understand to frame into what exactly the BTP covers.
mhm,
That's good.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm. But I mean, what I was prepared was for application development and assuming, like I mean, the person had some ABAP background or some
Mm-hmm.
knowledge because whatever if you see over here, I would just show you the slides. Whatever you see over here, it is some comparison of the programming models we have been using and how it is being changed to the new programming model that we call it SAP BTP ABAP or RESTful Application Programming Model that we will be learning as part of this course. Uh, but again, I
So
mean,
what do you think about Vishal, without having any prior experience of ABAP, will she able to catch up to your speed to catch this application development area?
So without having experience with
some
ABAP,
coding, right?
that is fine. But without having any programming knowledge, that would be difficult. So if you are having no experience with ABAP, but you have experience with some programming language, that is fine, because
It's
I
like
would.
C++, that will be enough.
Yeah. If you know basic object-oriented concepts, that would be
Groups,
fine.
concepts and everything.
Yes,
So that is fine.
yes,
Okay.
that would be fine. I am just
She is
trying.
comfortable. Fine. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Let me look for that particular slide because when I cover this, let me see. Yeah. So when I take this training, again, I mean, it is applicable for a web consultant, and it is also applicable for any application developer, and even not only application developer, anyone, like, I mean, from the product management side or from the project management side, or any other consultant who want to understand SAP BTP application development area, so that probably they could make a valid estimates. They could, like, I mean, convince the client probably for a product pitch or probably for a service pitch. Some basic understanding would be required. And again, like, I mean, I mean, as per the sections which I have been taking, I have been using ABAP as a reference point, so that, I mean, you can see, like, I mean, how ABAP has been evolved, or, like, I mean, when I say classic ABAP to now cloud ABAP, what we call it in SAP BTP,
Right.
but the syntax are completely new. Whatever we are going to learn in SAP BTP ABAP or RESTful application programming model. So I would come back to this. So this is how it is being named, SAP BTP and ABAP. This is the application development runtime. Since you're already familiar with C++ or Java programming, you know that you need a compiler, or you need a runtime, not just a compiler, you need a runtime. So what that runtime would do, it would compile your code that you have written, and based on the compilation, it would generate an output. So basically it would interpret, and then it would generate an output. So similarly, SAP BTP has provided multiple runtimes. It supports ABAP application development. It supports Schema runtime, wherein you can, like, I mean, do programming as per Node.js. And also they have a Cloud Foundry runtime, so you can do programming on Java language as well. But I will be teaching on ABAP programming language. So some of the syntax have been, like, I mean, have been modified or extended what was being used in ABAP. But again, we will be covering all those syntax because SAP BTP ABAP is different from the traditional ABAP. And since you are already working with SAP, I mean, you know that all this GUI access, all the T codes, all those things are not there in SAP BTP. So you don't have anything as, like, I mean, as a SAP GUI, or you don't have anything as a T code access. So all the traditional programming what the ABAPers were doing will no more be applicable on SAP BTP ABAP. So it's altogether a new programming model which SAP has introduced, and they call it as RESTful application programming model. So that we are going to learn. And again, I mean, these are some of the things that we cover. But again, as I said, my demo content is not as per your requirement, because I did not have understanding of your requirement. So this is how I generally say that we will be working on this platform as a service layer. So any of if any of the open source platforms, like, I mean, Google Apps, you can develop apps. Similarly, AWS Lambda, you can create application. Similar to that, SAP has come up with its own platform, and they call it as a platform that they have named it as a business technology platform. So it supports multiple programming languages. It supports multiple technologies. It supports innovations. Probably agility. I mean, you can, like, I mean, do innovation, and of course keeping your business core clean. So this is something that you would achieve, and we would be learning, we would be working and learning in this layer.
Got it.
So what about the certification?
So in certification wise also, because I cleared my CPA certification because I was very good with the integration advisor and do the iFlows build and all. So for application development also we have a different, like, in side by
Yes.
side extensibility is the one.
Side-by-side extensibility was the one, but now they have come up with another one, which is backend developer. Something it is called as backend developer, and that is a certification that I would be covering. So, like, I mean, even I would be sharing the PDF for that, and that you can all the contents would be covered, but of course for the theory part you need to go through that PDF, and that is the certification we would be targeting.
Okay, good. Yeah, I will check that. I think CP_14 or something.
No,
which
CPI is for the integration suite. Again, for the backend developer, maybe I can show it to you. That's
Yeah, that's fine. Let's continue.
yeah. So backend dev, if you search for backend developer, cloud backend developer, something like that, backend developer, you will get one.
Okay, thank you.
So again, I mean, this course is not structured, but if you have any specific question, then you can ask. And probably this is what would show you from a high level perspective how the BTP architecture would look like. And here you would see all the components or all the tracks that I was showing you. So probably the end users you're seeing over here. So let me come into the presentation mode here. So these are the end users. So it could be, could be a browser, mobile application, or even the APIs could be consumed by any third-party application. And then in the BTP layer, you can see that you have components for integration suite, you have components for extensions and automation, data analytics, and foundation cross services. So we would be learning and working on this area, and we would be, that is not mentioned here, but we would be doing not the automation part, but we would be doing SAP extension and application development. And again, you can see the components that they have defined the different runtimes, and we would be learning about ABAP runtime. So we would be developing those application. And this one-time connectivity, because of course you need to connect your BTP layer to your backend system. So this connectivity using cloud connector or using the destination in case of a cloud system, that we will do. So this is one-time connectivity of your SAP BTP account with your ERP account, that we will do. But if you are developing individual iFlows, individual APIs connection, that will not be covered as a part of this curriculum. So here you would be creating individual iFlows, and from this integration suites on the CPI layer using the CPI tenant, it makes use of the destination services or the cloud connector services, and it connects to the backend system. So that individual iFlows development we will not learn.
So BTP admin part also, do you cover at least
BTP
a high
admin,
level?
yes. BTP admin DevOps part that I will cover. So how you can set up your SAP BTP account, how you can subscribe for different services, how you can onboard your developers, how you can be a admin, how you can assign multiple users. So the entire DevOps part will be covered.
Okay.
How many months it will take?
Yeah, because in my previous project, I was working on SAP Event Mesh, where we are building a new iFlow, which is not even available from Discovery, and pulling up from third-party system and loading into the Ariba side.
Yeah. So I understood. I mean, you are basically working on this integration suite area, and that is what if that is the expectation. Then of course, I mean, if you want to go specific into this integration suite area and be a middleware consultant or this integration suite consultant, and if you're planning for the same CPI certification, then probably this course is definitely not relevant for you.
Got it. Yeah, let's go ahead with this your demo.
Okay. So maybe I would show you in the system. So how SAP.
So do you provide any the sub accounts? It is available on the cloud from SAP. So do you provide any kind of system or instance for
it will be a free tier account only. So again, if I go to the different payment models. Yeah. So these three are the paid models as per SAP, and then again the bottom three are the free tier models. So we would be utilizing this free tier model, and I would teach how to create or set up this account, and then connect it to the web development tools, which in this case will be Eclipse, and then you can use this free tier account. So for learning purpose, SAP gives us access to for 90 days, and using this free tier account, we will be learning, and we will be doing all the developments using this. And apart from this, no other subscription is required. You would just require Eclipse to be installed in your machine. And again, that is an open source tool. And from tools.hana.demand, you can install the ADT in Eclipse, and that is what is all needed.
Okay. And Windows is sufficient, right? A Windows laptop is good
Yeah,
enough.
Windows, Mac, anything that is good enough.
Okay.
So how many days it will take for the training?
Yeah, how many days of training is this?
So it will be total 27 to 30 hours of training. It will be. So again, I mean, it depends how many days. I mean, how many hours we are covering. So if we are, let's say, in a day, if we are generally I recommend 1.5 hours because some of the topics would not be possible to cover in 1 hour, and if that gets extended to next day, probably the connectivity or the flow is broken. So I recommend it to have 1.5 hours of session a day, and then similarly you can divide it. I mean, divide 30 by 1.5, which will be approximately 12 working sessions. 12,
Okay.
no, sorry, 20 working sessions.
Okay, working session. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, so good. Thank you. So you will be providing the materials, right? Yeah, I do have the CPA contract. I mean, the BTP is standard, but I think if you can give the certification materials, she can go through.
Yeah. Certification material for Web and Cloud I will be providing, and even the PPTs, all the theories that I will be discussing. So everything I will be providing. So like I mean, I generally have PPTs like this. So initially, a few days would be completely theoretical because you need to understand what is BTP and all the different cloud offerings, all the terminologies, because there are too many jargons being used for SAP BTP, and you need to understand each. And so initially few days would be theoretical session, and then again once we start doing with the application development and extension, as and when there is some theory required, so I would be covering those theories. So you can see these are like, I mean, this is the reference material I use for my training. So again, wherever there is a need for some theory, it would be covered.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
So
Down. So these are the use cases. So I would be doing everything in front of you. So I would be creating use cases, and I would be giving those use cases, and then you can relate it to the actual environment, because while developing the use cases, although we'll be referring to the standard objects. So like in this example, you can see I'm referring to the sales order business object, and similarly we will refer to standard SAP business objects, but we will be building a lighter version of that. So we'll not be utilizing all the columns or all the data points in a sales order business object. We will be utilizing some of those so that we can understand the concepts, and then of course you in an iterative manner you can build on top of that.
Okay. So do you teach anything about this IAS also, Identity Authentication Service?
Yeah, authentication service will be required because that is the service which will be used to connect to your SAP BTP account. So authentication and identity management, that first part I would be covering as part of the DevOps. When I say DevOps, I am meaning how you can set up your account and do the developers onboarding. So there I would be covering about it.
Okay. But the inside of admin part of the IAS and all will be a different session then.
Yes,
Isn't it?
yes.
Okay.
So here you can see that I have covered some of the things. So you can see all the BTP account setup, everything is covered, how you are doing the account management, all those things will be covered. And I also showed you that different cloud offerings that will be covered. But yes, identity management and account setup in details, how you are using different authentication mechanism, those things will not be covered.
Okay. And your backend system is S/4HANA on-premise solution.
Yes. So that I would be I doing it for some of the use cases, but most of the use cases we will be building on SAP BTP only, and even the data and everything will be stored on SAP BTP layer. But yes, I would be showing the connection, and then how we can consume application from backend S/4HANA system, extend that application from SAP S/4HANA system. That will be covered.
Okay, so BTP also will have the data storage. I thought like the BTP will
Yes.
just use the runtime
No.
data from the.
No.
Okay.
So if you see this diagram, SAP BTP comes with a default database where, it would not be used for storing your business data, but whatever objects that you're creating and whatever temporary runtime data, or let's say if you need to store, let's say user information, then that kind of information would be stored in the SAP BTP HANA DB only. So that
Right.
SAP BTP by default comes with a HANA database. And we will be utilizing this only because every time we cannot make a connection to SAP S/4HANA system. But yes, as a use case, I would be showing that how you can connect, how you can consume applications or APIs from SAP S/4HANA system. That also we'll be showing.
Okay, good. Okay,
Okay.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, so if there are any specific questions, then probably I can answer. And one more thing, I use this comparison. So if you are already from an ABAP background, you know this, that we were using SAP NetWeaver. And here also you can see that we had different components, application platform, which was ABAP and the J2E. So ABAP was for the backend ABAP programming development, and J2E was used in, let's say, Adobe Forms or web services and all those places. And we had a PO team which we are working on this part, which is for the process integration. So in a very similar way, this was the earlier technology platform, which was for on-premise system. Now they have a new technology platform that we call it as a SAP BTP, which is a cloud solution, which is as a platform as a service, and it is suited for for SAP S/4HANA on-premise as well as SAP S/4HANA cloud system. And again, very much similar to this, this is application platform has moved to SAP BTP application development, and this process integration has moved to SAP BTP integration suite. So this is how it is rated. And this people integration, some of these, I think information integration, this was data analytics, and this has moved to data analytics. So that is how to draw a comparison, I use this diagram, and that's the reason I just saw it and I thought of mentioning it. So I
So
would be moving
end of the course, will she be able to build any application on her own? Say, for example, I want to query a material in a particular plant, how much stock is available from
Yes,
application developer.
yes. So
She,
let's
just
say there are hundreds of ABAPers currently in the system, right? And they will not go and they will not learn a new technology, and they need to survive. So they will go for SAP BTP application development. They would upgrade, probably they would upgrade their knowledge to SAP BTP application development so that they can survive in the market with that. And it doesn't mean that their complete ABAP knowledge is wasted. Some of the legacy would be carried forward, but again, they have to upgrade, they have to extend on that knowledge that would be required.
Right.
And again, an application, when I say application developer, what ABAPers were doing it for SAP ECC or SAP S/4HANA on-premise system, SAP BTP application developers would be doing it for the modern application. When I'm saying modern application, it is again SAP S/4HANA on-premise or SAP S/4HANA on cloud as well.
Okay.
Again, that
So
would
do you
be
have
applicable for both.
S/4HANA cloud also? Or
So that also we have one free system, ES5. So that connection we can show, we can do, but again, we have very limited possibility over there.
okay.
And these services are really costly. So even SAP BTP ABAP service is probably 3,000 euros, approximately 2,500 euros per month. So definitely, I mean, we cannot go for the subscription or the paid version of those, but SAP gives us a free tier account, which is available for 90 days. And again, it gets extended. So if you're using it continuously, it gets extended for another 90 days. So that is sufficient. And that is what I am using for all the trainings, and all the students are also using the same account.
Okay, good. So will it be in one-to-one training session?
That I will discuss because I just wanted to show the demo because your availability was only for today, and so I planned this demo. But I will connect maybe and then I'll let you know about the one-to-one session, and you can of course communicate your preferences, and then we can plan according to that.
So we preferred the morning sessions actually, 8 o'clock to 9 or 9 to 10 of Eastern time.
So it would be somewhere. What would be the IST
7
time?
o'clock,
So
7:30, 8 o'clock.
Now it is 1:15 for me in the afternoon.
Yeah, so I do take sessions from 9 to 10:30 or 9:15 to 10:30 rather in the evening or 9 p.m. Indian time. So that could be suited for you. Then probably we could take that session according to that timing.
Or weekends, or sometime if you can do it more, then we are flexible.
Yeah.
for
So
that.
even weekends I do take, but again, and weekends you would require during the same time, right? Probably post 8
Oh, for other
p.m.
times, yeah, because we have kids, so we'll be looking for.
Yeah. So even weekends I could plan, but yes, on the timings and how the batch will be, I would communicate probably communicate to I forgot the name of the person, but yeah, I would communicate to him, and then he could connect with you.
So
Okay.
one more question that, so in the starting, you're saying that the integration part we will not be explaining. So why can't you explain the real-time projects and all you can show us?
From application development, he will show all the real-time experiences also. From integration advisor side, and he will not be having that because he never worked on that area. So we need to reach to some other trainer to get that integration.
So
advisor.
without that, then how can we do the certification and all
No, those two are two different separate.
separately?
So application development is the one which he is going to cover.
Okay, got it.
Nice. Okay, thank you, Vishal. Thank you for your time and for your demo.
Yeah,
It's great.
thank you. And then probably we could connect later on the timings. I would communicate to Srijan.
Yeah, we want to just make her to enter from a very beginner level, right? So I would like to have a brand new session or fresh session which you start. Then it is better to keep her that.
Of course.
It is not a group section, it's a one-to-one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Vishal. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. ఈయన ఇంకో అతను ఉన్నారు